And you continued your education after the academy?
Yes,
Where did you go?
I went to Oneonta Normal because two of the Morgan girls, as I said, they lived next door and were very much a part of my growing up. Two of them had gone to normal school and were teaching at the time. And one had gone to Geneseo and one had gone to Oneonta. And the one who had gone to Oneonta seemed to have a little more influence. And the year that I was to graduate from high school, a classmate of hers who was at that time teaching at Oneonta Normal was visiting her, so that they persuaded me to go there.
How did you get from here to Oneonta in those days?
Train and several changes. Changed in Elmira, changed in Binghamton, and then to Oneonta.
When you went off to college, did your parents go with you?
No, I don't even remember the first trip, but it
On
was
your own.
quite an adventure to
Uh-huh.
have to change trains twice. And
Uh-huh. Were there dormitories at the college?
no,
Where did you stay?
there were homes that were open to where students boarded and roomed.
Mhm.
Usually, and many times, and particularly where I stayed, you had your room and board in the same house.
Mm-hmm. Well, getting back to when you were a child here in town, do you remember any childhood illnesses or health concerns that children had then in those days?
Well, we all had the usual childhood diseases, and when we did, we were quarantined. There was a big red plaque on your door. I think it was always red, maybe it changed color. And I had chicken pox and measles at the same time. I was in the 4th grade.
Is that when you missed the square root?
I missed square root, and I never did understand it. I still don't. I don't know if it's used, but I couldn't use it, I'm sure.
Do you have any recollection of the influenza epidemic that was had such an effect on the whole United States?
Yes, I was a senior, and I was in the senior class play, and at that time we were rehearsing for it, and I do have I gave to the Oliver House the program. I've forgotten. It must have been staged early spring because my mother was ill with influenza and couldn't come to the play.
Mm-hmm. You said your mother had suffered with migraines, and
They didn't call them migraines then, but I'm sure that's what they were. She would often be in bed a day or two at a time, and I had to be very quiet and not disturb her. We all, most of the time that I was growing up, we had, my mother had help. She was called a hired girl. They were girls from farm families who had been brought up to do housework and cleaning and cooking and various things. And they were always part of the family. They were not treated as a servant, but
just to help because your mother would be down with her migraines.
yes.